Hi everyone, I'm Hamid. I just finished my first year in electrical and electronics engineering at university. This Asuro robot was one of my modules for that. I ended up getting 85% in that module. So in future videos I'll be going through the programming of the Asuro and how I actually went about building my code. But in this video what I figured I'd do is I'd go through some of the upgrades that I did on the Asuro. As you can see, here's the Asuro as it looks as standard, and here's mine. Looks very different. So I'll go through the upgrades that I did on the Asuro, which actually helped me get such a high grade. Many of the upgrades are actually fairly trivial, and some of them are pretty much essential. So some of them I'd highly recommend, others could just do it for a laugh. Soon I'm going to be tearing apart the Asuro, upgrading it, adding some more things. I've just got a 3D printer, so I'm thinking of actually printing some things for the Asuro to make it look just a little bit neater and better. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so before I actually tear it apart, I figured I'd make this video, go through the upgrades, and then hopefully give you some ideas of what you could do as well. Let's start off with the trivial idea, shall we? So if we first take a look at the Asuro, tip it up, you can see he's got some googly eyes. They actually move around as well. Obviously, this has no actual use, other than the fact that it looks absolutely sick. Second one is this red and white grille. Again, no actual use. I took it off my kid's Hot Wheel track, and so yeah, it just looks like he's either smiling or he just looks a little bit crazy. Next one would be the solar cell. That obviously isn't there, as you can see. No solar cell. I'll put that on top of the IC, and it's fairly trivial. It actually will power this propeller. So you can see the green and white cables going into propeller. The propeller, again, completely trivial. It doesn't. Yeah, it looks amazing when the Asuro's outside, and the solar cell is powered. Then this just spins. And now I actually tested it, and it doesn't go any faster. I think if anything, it probably slows it down because of the weight. But I just thought it'd be cool. It looks amazing. Lecturer was well impressed. She got this really cheap. It was like a £3 solar kit, and it came with. Actually, that's actually also where I got the solar cell from. It was a solar cell kit. I'll stick a link to it in the description below. Literally, it came with the solar cell, the propeller, and then it had like a boat, little car. And the idea was that you're supposed to put the solar cell on it, and then it would either, spin the wind turbine for fun, or, propel the boat, etc. So I just pulled all of that apart, literally cut this in half, and you can see there's like a little wind turbine motor underneath there. Yeah, I just kind of hot glued it all together. It was all really a bit messy and everything. You can see there's even some. Let's see if I can. Like literally just like electrical tape holding the wires, the green and white wire onto this coil. Yeah, it's all a bit funny really, but it worked out nicely. I didn't use any soldering or anything. Probably redo it at some point, but for now I'm going to be tearing it off. So yeah, that was it. Cool, so we've got the googly eyes, the red and white stickers, the solar cell, and then the propeller. So for the actual essential stuff, these two here. We've got the cover, I'd say, for it's a cover for the infrared LED at the front. So obviously when these two light up on top on the track, what happens is you have ambient light that affects whether it can read the line properly, and sometimes users will get very confused. So by covering it, I found that literally it pretty much tripled how well the user would go around the track, and this literally made the difference. At the time I didn't have a 3D printer, so what I did was I went and bought a paracetamol, those little paracetamol capsules, pot things, and then I've got my saw and just cut away at it. Took me a while, sanded it down, and yeah, it looks nice. And then probably the best upgrade I'd say is the Asuro. For whatever reason, it sits. You can't see it here. Is it on the back? No, you can't. It actually sits on a ping pong ball, a half ping pong ball, which I always thought was completely weird because it's such a nice piece of kit and it's just sitting on a ping pong ball, and it doesn't move smoothly. the Asuro ends up kind of like jittering along as it moves, and then what happens is one of your gears will end up going faster than the other. It's terrible. I don't know why they did that. So what I did was I bought a separate robot kit that had this roller ball in it, and it's literally just one of those caster roller balls, metal ball. I hot glued it down. Obviously you need to have plastic, because if you glue a metal one onto this, then you're obviously going to short circuit loads of the pins, which is going to be a very, very bad idea. So don't do that. Make sure it's plastic. And then literally now the Asuro, when it's turning, it's so smooth. Literally, like, just this is way smoother than obviously even these tires. So yeah, that I'd say these two. And one of the things that I was marked on was how the Asuro went around the track. Was it jittering, or did it go smoothly? And this rollerball made all the difference for to get rid of all the jitteriness. So definitely the rollerball and the covering of the infrared sensors to block the ambient light, absolutely essential in my book. The one thing I didn't get to do, which I really would have liked to do, would have been to cover up these two. Let's see if you can see it here. You've got the photo transistor and the photo transmitter. So obviously that's beaming light, infrared light, onto the encoder disk, and as it's spinning, it's reading it. Now again, you get a lot of ambient light that comes and affects this, and it affects the reading. It still works, and the odometry system will work. It will be, I'd say, fairly accurate. But if you can, if I could cover these two, which I could easily do, to be honest, I just think I didn't get time around to doing it, but if you cover these two, it's going to lead to, obviously you need to cover it in a way that doesn't actually stop the gears from moving. But if you can cover that, then it's going to mean that the odometry system is going to work way more accurately. So that's one thing I didn't get to do. The final upgrade I did, which you can't see because of the solar cell and everything on here, which I'm going to stick back on, is the Ultrasonic kit, which is really good. It's actually better than the tactile sensors. So obviously when the Asuro detects a collision, when it hits something, then obviously it would know in reverse. But with the ultrasound, then way better, it detects it from obviously much farther away, so it doesn't actually hit and it's not going to break. So I'm going to stick that back on in the future. But yeah, so that's it for my upgrades. Obviously, like I said, most of them are fairly trivial, but it did make my examiner laugh when he saw the googly eyes and everything. And it just looks funny when it's going around. It literally, you can see it's moving. It actually looks like it's looking for the line, which is funny. I got these googly eyes from, I think, like a very cheap robot kit, but I'm sure you can get them from any sort of crafts place. Cool. So that's it. I'm going to be doing some more upgrades because I've got a 3D printer, so you may see some more in here, but for now I'm going to get back to the programming videos. So if you like the video, give it a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.